At the moment I'm a mandatory lifer, and this week I'm expecting to get another sentence on top of what I'm doing because of smoking the spice, because it made me, the effects of it makes me go psychotic, and I ended up taking another inmate hostage and seriously hurting him back in another prison. So I'm expecting, unfortunately, another prison sentence on top of what I'm doing already, so the consequences of that is massive with the family and my son and everything.
There was incidents where prisoners became violent when they were on MPS, that staff were affected by the use of MPS, by going into areas where MPS was used.
How would you describe MPS? What are MPS to you? What's your perception?
Is a legalised drug. That's what I believe it is. The MPS what I was into was called spice. So it was just legalised cannabis. That's what I believed it to be.
You said you've been in hospital twice, yeah? But you encountered a lot of seizures with 3 minor heart attacks. When were they?
It was on my second occasion.
What, they all come at once?
Yeah.
3 minor heart attacks, so the seizures came off one incident?
Off one batch of the MPS, yeah.
Wow.
It's turned the prison system upside down. An SO that I've known for a lot of years within this jail, he said I was a dying breed. I'm an old school prison mate, I've been doing jail for a long time, and I have old morals and codes and all that. But this MPS now, it's just turned it upside down. No one cares. It's messed the jail system up, to be honest.
What's your opinion? What MPS have now done to the prison system? What's the effects it has on the prison system?
It's cut it off.
There's a lot of violence that comes with it as well.
Through your experiences on the wing, have you seen people who haven't been able to pay the bill?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people run from the wings, run from other people.
Yes.
My use of MPS on family, they're disgusted and that I've ever even touched it.
So they do not?
They're disappointed. With me, I'm an honest person, be honest with my family, tell them everything. Now, after I've suffered all these heart attacks, I sat down with my mum and that on a visit and said, listen, this is what's happening with me. Now, what do you reckon I should do? What advice can you give me? The best advice she gave me was to get myself back on that TC and get off everything.
Before Christmas I had a really bad experience on one of the wings here. It was a very strong batch, and I only took a couple of tokes on a spliff. And if it wasn't for a table outside the surgery, I'd have hit the floor. It was, I couldn't move. I had to just sit there and ride it out, and I was very close to going over, and I had to use the walls to get back to my cell. It was a terrifying.
The physical side of it, you're going to end up with loose bowels, stomach cramps. If you're smoking it every day, these are standard with most users. But like if you suffer with any mental health problems or like that, they're going to be proper triggered and more heavier. Like I've suffered with cuts, self-harming all my life, on and off little bits, yeah. And I've not done it for a long time, and then I tried when I was smoking these pipes, like up to 5-7 pipes a day. You know, one of balls on each pipe. It's a lot of spice. I couldn't get stoned off joints no more, off the joints of spice, because of what I was smoking on pipes. But I tried to go like 3 days with that. I got to the 3rd day and I cut up. But I didn't just cut up once or twice, I cut up 80 to 100 times.
There's a young lad on the wing that's just come in doing a life sentence, and me and another lad who were mandatory lifers. As mandatory lifers, if we see somebody in a cell unconscious, we cannot touch him, we can't go into that cell. Because if we're seen as the last person going in that cell and coming out and that person dies, then we're up for manslaughter. So the only thing I can do is shout for an officer if they're in the cell. If they're on the landing, because there's cameras, then I might be able to help and put them in a recovery position, try and keep them still. But if they're in a cell, as much as I'd love to go in and help them, I'd have to shout for an officer.
Yeah.
I'd have to shout for help.
One of the main issues with novel psychoactive substances, as I said, is that they are unknown. So there are either things like failed medicines. These are the medicines that would never have got to a human clinical trial, for example. Do you think then that one of the things that makes novel psychoactive substances problematic, especially those synthetic cannabinoids, as so what people call spice, is that you can have it and you can be out of control, and that's in terms of like your physical behaviour, that kind of stuff. Have you seen any of that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've seen decent lads who have just gone like on a rapid slippery slope,
Yeah.
like upside down within a couple of weeks or
Yeah.
couple of months, and the behaviours that they display are very similar to, or even you could put them adequately worse than a heroin addict. Now, heroin used to be a big thing in prison.
Yeah.
Everybody used to take it, and they used to claim that it was only in prison where they would do it. All right, no problem. But now that this spice has come about, and I believe this is the same outside, the heroin addicts don't even want the heroin no more. They would rather the spice. And when you put that on a scale of comparison,
It is so strong that the human body just can't cope, in a sense. So that's one of the main issues, is the strength of some of the novel psychoactive substances.
Given you any indication of what your sentence might be?
No, I've got. I'm honest. Do you know? I'll be honest. I'm struggling at the moment because it's for this Thursday, and it's not the knowing.
Is it this week?
Yeah, it's whether or not they deem the threat to the other prisoner's life real or not. So the judge has got to make that decision this Thursday.
What a different. This is what MPS is.
Yeah, it's ruined my life. Do you know what I mean? I'm only 5 years away from release from my first parole tariff, and now it looks like that goalpost is being moved away now, and the closer it's coming to the court case, the more the realisation's hitting me of what I've actually done. Because when I did take the lad, it was just to get out of the prison, and I just thought, well, the prosecution or whoever is going to say it's not in the public interest. Unfortunately, making a scapegoat out of me this time, and it's no joke now. It's actually quite serious for what it is. Yeah.
And luckily, his life was saved before you realised it was going to be.
Oh yeah, I panicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, panicked. Yeah.
It's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, what you said there about scapegoat, I understand what you mean, but I think the word you're looking for is an example.
Yeah,
Example.
because what they're doing now in the court is because there's so much violence within the prison system on inmates and inmates on officers. They used to be able to run sentences concurrent, where now they're looking at that saying, well, if we're giving you a sentence for concurrent, then we're just giving you a get out free jail
You're
card.
looking at consecutive.
So now the courts are looking at on violence consecutive, whether you're mandatory life or IPP or straight sentence. That's what they're starting doing now. Unfortunately, I've ended up being one of those people where it's coming to effect, and it's affecting me now.
Families are already serving a sentence anyway with the loved ones away.
Yeah.
Imagine that, and then getting a phone call to say, well, actually, call to the door to say, not only is your son or your father or brother serving a sentence, but he's died on that sentence through this drug use. Devastating.
Yeah.
Twice
You
over.
can't imagine.
No.
So you asked them why they're smoking spice, they say, I'm just trying to get through my sentence. So basically you're killing yourself, in essence hoping that you get a life back in the end.
people are stuck in a trap on this side of the wall, because when spice first came about and it was introduced as synthetic cannabinoids, people thought automatically that it was to replace cannabis. So they're smoking it, and although the effects were ridiculous, they were still saying, no, it's only cannabis.
Yeah.
He's throwing the white,
So that basically relates to the idea that these are drugs that are mimicking other drugs.
Yeah.
What they mean is that they're mimicking the effects, and that could
Or
be
attempting to.
Yeah.
With any drug comes debt, but with the MPS, all I can say, it is like crack. You know, it's not lasting long, and the desire to use more, that's inevitable. You know, there's a lot of people running around dated up and there's just no way out of it, but yet they'll still go looking for a fix for that day, even though they can't cover what they've already got.
What's your consequences of that then?
Violence, you know, getting done in, getting stabbed up.
Is that a regular
You know, a lot of lads still hit the block before anything like that, or the lit numbers. You know, to me that's not an option.
Is it true that lads who are incurring big debts and can't cover them, they're trying to save the face and the ass at the same time, to the extent that rather than leaving the wing, they'll do something on the wing to clear the bill?
Yeah. They'll either start taking hits themselves and clear the debt that way, maybe going and hitting another dad, or like I say, they'll shit a screw up or something like that. They'll do something to clear the debt and save the face, yeah.
Some people were in the prison population when it was introduced, and they started using it as cannabis. Only now, or only recently, did they have to realise that the behaviours have changed, their whole demeanour has changed, the whole character's changed, but it's too late now. So I actually feel sorry for them kids, because I was actually around it them times myself, like when it got introduced and everybody was thinking it was just to replace cannabis. Where now, where the damage and the effects can be seen visibly, the kids who are now coming in, because they can, like they say, well, what's up with him? He smokes spice.
Yeah.
So now they're looking at the prison population as a deterrent.
From your experience, what conclusion do you arrive to as the main cause of people using MPSs within the establishments?
Just shit as your way out. That's what I would believe.
Days out,
It's just to make the days go quicker.
I know I've got things to deal with. I already, do you know what I mean? I know where I've got to go, and I know what I've got to be able to do.
I reckon you'll go grind and smash it.
I do.
That's where I've got to go, but I've got to be able to get past that.
You will?
Rock bottom has the strongest foundations. There's nowhere else to go from rock bottom, so that's a very good place to start from. At least you know you can't be preaching to people at rock bottom if you haven't ever hit rock bottom yourself. People are saying that they're smoking spice just to get through the sentence.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
People are lucky to make it to the fucking gate. Rock bottom has the strongest foundations. There's nowhere else to go from rock bottom, so that's a very good place to start from. At least you know you can't be preaching to people at rock bottom if you haven't ever hit rock bottom yourself. But speaking on this side of the wall from prison, I reckon health implications would. It's all about. I really believe it's about reminding them about the here and now. Everybody's got health issues to a certain extent. You couldn't be living if you've not got health issues. Everybody's got a health issue, and it's going to come eventually. To then start using drugs or trying to mask it with drugs, which I've done in the past. You know what I mean? I believe a lot of people have. That was the stupid thing to do then. That was a stupid thing of me to do. But now that I come to understand that all this escaping reality is you can't deal with your problems in oblivion. So if you're gonna escape reality forever or for as long as you can,
you're never gonna deal with it.
So you have no. I can understand how and why some people feel like they have no hope or no reason to come off it. But once you remind them of who they are, that you are actually a person, you still have life in you.
And you can still help other people, you can still do X, Y, and Z.
One cognition I had was, I realised that the character and person I've been for the last 10 years, maybe even 15, I've robbed myself of life, and I've robbed my relatives of a relative. Now, when I thought about that thought, I thought, so when I die on my headstone, all this gold leaf writing, it's gonna claim allegiance that he's son of this, father of this, grandson of this. Beautiful word, beautiful headstone. This up until a few months ago, you were digging a piece of shit up out of the ground. It doesn't match the gold leaf. A son of it. Hold on, what did you ever do to be a son? I've been all these titles by default.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you've actually got to do stuff to fulfil the role.
I have to make conscious efforts.
Yeah.
I now realise this.
Yeah.
I've got to make conscious efforts now. That's a powerful tool to use to bring somebody to the here and now, the realisation of who they are.
So does that mean that if you've got something to lose, then you feel like you're more likely to sort it out?
Yeah, most definitely. But it's not even if you feel like you've got something to lose as well. It's also feeling like you've got something to win. Like people who use spice, I'll say majority of the people who use spice, because some people believe they have it under control. I don't know whether they do or don't, but it appears on the face of things that they have it under minute control. But you're robbing yourself of your own life. Like, I don't know, like I said, in the last 10-15 years of my behaviour, I now understand and describe it as illogical.